So check this out. It looks like when you actually put it into perspective, Disney's losses are way more significant than what we kind of make it seem. There's a couple of things that picked up from this article when the Wall Street Journal was talking about it, and I'm going to show you the bits that I certainly want to focus on here in a bit. Now, we had, as reported, I let you in on the fact that they lost with streaming services alone in the last quarter. It was $1.47 billion. So almost a billion and a half is what they lost. And when you compare that to previous years, to even more so put that into perspective, the previous year, that number was more than double of what they had lost previously. So this is something that is going in the wrong direction for them. Now, some of you, hey, it's this person's fault that's in the company. It's that person's fault. Some people are going to just say that it's not anybody's fault because they love Disney so much that they can do no wrong. So what they'll do is blame it on the fact that the economy is crap right now, or that there's sort of some economic uncertainty. And that's not to say that that isn't true. There certainly is. But to lose that much money and then blame it on just that, inflation or something like that, is being very disingenuous. Is a bad spending habits and bad business practices, in combination with turning folks off from this from the material, that it is that they're producing. But as bad as that is, that's a terrible thing that they lost that much money in that last quarter. They've lost far more than that, according to the insiders. Now, in 3 years, and I'm reading this again, this is from the Wall Street Journal. This is the part I want to focus on. In the 3 years since its inception, Disney Plus amassed over 164 million subscribers, about 3/4 of Netflix's current subscriber base of 2 to 3.1 million. Overall, Disney, which also owns ESPN Plus streaming platform and controls the majority of Hulu, boasts more streaming subscribers globally than any other company. So that's the buttering up of the whole fact. And you've probably heard people mention that, hey, Disney Plus has this amount of subscribers. They've gained this amount of subscribers, but it's certainly not growing to the degree that they need it to in order to actually break even, let alone turn a profit. Again, so you're talking about a combination of different things. They're not getting the support it is that they anticipated, despite it may be this big number, X amount of millions of people. And I'm willing to bet there's some shenanigans going on there anyway. It's not just about that. You have to consider how much money they're spending on projects, what projects, how many different projects that they're putting out, and all that. So just because you boast a big number, that doesn't mean that you're meeting the expectation that it is that you have or need to have if you are to make that money back. This next paragraph is the part that's important. But the streaming division, which Chapek, who recently, of course, was ousted as the CEO, Bob Iger is now back in his place. Nothing's going to change. He facilitated a lot of what's happening right now with the company. But it says, but the streaming division, which Chapek has said to be expected to be profitable by the company's 2024 fiscal year, has lost, and this is the important part, $8.5 billion since Disney Plus was launched, and has posted bigger operating losses in each of the past 4 quarters. Under Chapek, Disney has increased its content spending dramatically to around $30 billion this year alone. So you're seeing more projects or more money being spent on projects that people aren't falling over themselves to get subscribed to these streaming services in order to watch this stuff. Okay, it's just not enough. Yeah, they're going to have to, if they want to make some money, cut down the spending. That's the first thing that you do. That's the easiest thing it is that you can do. That means that more people are going to, of course, be out of jobs. A lot of people that's been sitting on kind of this house of cards, production studios, sub studios, and all that are probably going to be out of jobs. And look, Hollywood did themselves there, which is funny for me to see this happen. For you guys that aren't really familiar with this industry, man, there's a lot of red tape, a lot of between these unions and all sorts of stuff that has, when you look at The Strange World, which is not $180 million, that's not $180 million animated film, but that's how much they spent on it. Okay. That's how much they spent on it. That is not, it should not be that much. You've seen people do comparable animations for half that. But when you consider all of the crap that they have to jump through, which Hollywood did to themselves, well, here you go. That at some point, and not just Disney is dealing with that problem. It was, I guess, cool when people were going to the movie all the time, but now as people become more privy and more aware of what's happening around them, what these studios are up to, and they're starting to vote with their dollars, it's just not gonna, people aren't just gonna mindlessly just give people money as much. It's not, trust me, it's still too many people doing that. No shortage of people doing that. But it's at least lessened a little bit, and that's enough. That's enough. You cannot keep up with the charade like they have been doing for a while. So they're going to have to cut down these actors, actresses, producers, or rather the directors and all those guys that are, let's say, contracted to do the films. They're going to have to kind of cut down on their costs. This is a Hollywood thing. This isn't just with Disney. Disney, of course, is seeing the brunt of it, as they should, and this is exactly what they get. But this is not a sustainable practice, okay? But Disney has lost since Disney Plus launched $8.5 billion. All these weirdos, the reply guys that you probably have at Disney stands, people make stand accounts on Twitter, all that, who boast these numbers. They talk about X amount of people watch this show and all that. Doesn't mean jack diddly squat, because they are actively losing money. Losing money. Not making money, losing money. Okay? Meaning that when you look at, they have big million, we've added 15 million subscribers, doesn't mean anything. Because when you consider how much these projects cost, how much money you're putting into these projects, how much money you're spending on these projects, you're not getting the return. That's not big enough of an audience to actually garnish you, or rather get you money. You can't do that. It's not sustainable. $8.5 billion. That's a lot of money. And like I said, they did it to themselves, and that's exactly what they deserve. So we'll see what happens going into the future. Chapek, right before he was ousted, put out that letter or whatever, and they had been talking about their aspirations to start making money in 2024. The end of 2024, they didn't expect their streaming services to be profitable until then. So they're already anticipating that they're going to start losing. They're going to continue to lose money going through next year and the year after that, really until the end of 2024. So basically, we're 2 years out from where they are projecting, and that's just what that is, a projection. That don't mean jack. They can still continue to lose money in the future. Something's got to give. So we'll see what happens.